This is Tiger Cats postgame on the Ticats Audio Network.
Salty taste in the mouth of Tiger Town. Players, coaches, broadcasters, and to the fans that stayed here today through the weather delay, almost an hour and a half, a torrential downpour, lightning, and still hung around. We salute you. That is for sure, first and foremost. Disappointing final result. Tiger Cats losing to the Edmonton Elks, who were previously winless, now improving to 1-9, 24-10 the final score. Ticats improved to 3-6. Bubba O'Neill and Andy Fantuz with you here to, I think we all need to help each other. I mean, I think we need to come together and really try and help each other out and guide each other through this one, because I think you and I come into every single game believing that the Hamilton Tiger Cats have an opportunity and a chance to win a football game, and this was an end result I just didn't see happening, Andy.
Neither did I, and you do have to salute the fans. I thought there was a lot of optimism in the building all night long. A lot of excitement off the field with the Wall of Honor, the Alumnus of Distinction, the Grey Cup Unravel this week, and fans were having fun tonight. The rain delay, even though the team was down at halftime, people were having fun. People thought it was going to be a comeback. So big shout out to Tiger Town, and just the on-field result, not what you wanted to see. Certainly some bright spots on both sides of the ball, but some letdowns. And you look at the missed kicks and the sacks stand out the most to me. Other than that, it was a pretty solid game on both sides of for both teams. Pretty efficient quarterbacks, lots of running, well over 100 yards rushing from both teams. Penalties were few and far between. Turnovers, only one true defensive turnover, one fumble, 3 turnovers on down, so a total of 2-2. Those 3 missed field goals and the missed extra point left. One of them ended up in a single point, so it left 9 points on the board. And it would have been a totally different look finish to the game if it was a one-score game. And just the sacks. We heard Luke talk about not all sacks are offensive line fault. I thought the team did actually a pretty good job of bringing in tight end packages, fullback packages today, bringing in receivers to add into the protection. What I saw was Taylor Powell looking a little flustered. You talk about the poise in the pocket and the ability to kind of look past the line of scrimmage and still see downfield as quote-unquote bullets are flying in front of you. I didn't see too much of that tonight. I saw Taylor sort of look one way and then kind of tuck the ball and move around and get sacked. And a lot of short passes, not a lot of pushing the ball downfield. He's got to learn to live in the war zone, so to speak. Live in that pocket, even though a lot of things are happening, and keep his eyes downfield and go through his reads. He still had efficient numbers, only 6 incompletions, no interceptions, but those sacks tell the story of that and the lack of downfield passing attack. So I thought that was the biggest difference in this game. And you got to give a lot of credit to the Elks. Their execution level was very high today. Trey Ford especially, coming in here and doing what he did, 13 for 18, 174 yards, 2 touchdowns, another 60 yards on the ground. Really managing the game well, only allowing 1 sack when they were backed up on their own goal line. He played really well. He's a Het Creighton winner. He grew up in Niagara Falls, or was born in Niagara Falls, played at Waterloo, won the Het Creighton, won the Lewis and Doug Mitchell Award for top athlete in the whole of all youth sports in 2021.
He's got it. And it's going to get more refined over the years. But he's got it, whatever it is.
I mean, we were fortunate to see somebody like Nathan Rourke come through this league last year as a Canadian quarterback, but putting him aside in the unbelievable kind of half the season that he had last year, Trey Ford's the best I've witnessed in a long, long time for a Canadian quarterback. So, future looks bright for him, and you got to give that whole team and himself a lot of credit tonight.
Can I say this too? And I don't know what you think about this, and you saw it in some of the coaching decisions by Chris Jones going forward on third down, the unbelievable little play action on second down with the long pass, the way Ford stood in the pocket and delivered the touchdown pass to Dunbar Jr. in the first half. They played with a desperation that I don't know if I saw in the Tiger Cats tonight.
You're right about that. And you almost forget that in the first half, we didn't really touch on it at halftime. The only incompletion he had was a perfect 45-yard pass to Eugene Lewis, who, quite frankly, dropped it at like the 1 yard line. That's normally his money ball. So you didn't see that from the Cats. You saw a lot of good things. Like you saw James Butler being productive on the ground. He had 14 carries, 115 yards, another 3 catches for 32 yards. He did what you expect him to do. Tim White got back involved. He was 10 targets, 9 catches. That's the best we've seen this year. 101 yards. He's had a better, result than that as far as total yards and no touchdowns. But you saw he was targeted. He was making catches. Those are positives for the Cats. But a complete lack of pushing that ball downfield and that desperation, like you mentioned, the urgency. Where do you go from here? Halfway through the season, 3-6, far from over. It was bleaker last year than this, and they still made the playoffs. But this is one that was hard to swallow, I think, for you and I, for the team, for the fans. Didn't see this one coming, and anyway. You got to give the Elks credit, but you got to find a way to dig deep and make it happen. But it seems like just with this team, it's game after game taking turns making the mistakes. Today was the sacks and the missed kicks. Other games it's the offense. Other games it's the defense. Got to come together and like you said, just pull together and find a way to learn and grow from this.
The rest of the Tiger Cats post game here, we will go down to the locker room, which I'm sure is going to be a disappointed one. Talk to a player. Coach O will speak with us. Of course, we do have our performer of the game, who I'll let you know, obviously, James Butler. You just talked about his numbers, outstanding effort. Certainly not a lack of effort from our running back this evening. We will look at our catch of the day as presented by Fisherman's Friend. Fisherman's Friend, it works. That's the honest truth. And we go back to what maybe wasn't the pass, but it was certainly a high moment in this contest. First play of the second quarter, Tiger Cats knocking the door on the 2-yard line.
Taylor Powell under center, right behind David Beard. 3 receivers to his left. It's a handoff to James Butler. He runs straight up the middle. Touchdown, Tiger Cats! It pays off. The third down gamble. It's a touchdown presented by Terkstra Lumber. And how about this choreographed dance? They've been waiting for this one at Tim Hortons Field.
Certainly one of the high moments of this contest, and you could say that there were some receptions made by some of the other fellas as well too, but we certainly give credit to James Butler for crashing in there as well too. So nonetheless, opportunity to bring in the guys here, the likes of RJ Broadhead and Luke Tasker as they settle in. And while they settle into the broadcast, let's review your CarStar keys to the game.
Well, number one was this establish offensive rhythm early, and there were a lot of things I liked in the first quarter and the second quarter, they just have a lot of opportunity. Edmonton was able to control the ball and the clock in the first quarter against the wind, and that really hurt the Cats to really get, jump on them early. And you kind of add that with the fact they got sacked on that first drive and then missed the field goal, and then ended up with no points in the first quarter again, the 5th time this season. I can't possibly give that a plus grade, even though Taylor Powell only had 1 incompletion at halftime. James Butler was moving the ball well. I just can't give that a passing grade. So, unfortunately, no, not on that one.
Number 2.
Number 2 is discipline and focus, and that was, 4 penalties for 41 yards. Is certainly livable, and I thought that other than, I guess, the kicker, focusing in on his moments, I thought the team kept fighting, they kept playing. I'm gonna give that a what do you call it, a draw?
A wash.
A wash.
Well, a wash.
Yeah. Tough to say you're focusing on the moment when you lose by 2 scores at home, but yeah. And then number 3 was win the turnover battle. It ended up being 2-2, but you heard our guys here talk about kind of a different mentality when it comes to turnovers. Taylor Powell had the fumble on the sack, and then it was a turnover on downs in a desperation mode at the end of the game, where Edmonton was sort of in that quasi long field goal, short punt mode, third and medium, third and short, and they took a couple shots downfield. One was dropped for probably a 40-yard gain, and quite frankly, they both almost were caught at like the 1-yard line. So, kind of a different feeling. But either way, it was a wash on that one too.
Bring in RJ Broadhead and Luke Tasker, and guys, I kind of threw something out here to Andy, and again, let's bring in James Butler here. He's obviously our performer of the game, presented by Hercules Tire, right on our strength, and we do have exclusive access to the locker room, and of course we go down to our player of the game, who is James Butler. And James, I know that, again, individual numbers don't really mean a lot to you, but certainly, how do you feel about this contest? I know you guys went down fighting, but you didn't get the end result.
Yeah, we gotta make more plays. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make more plays. We gotta finish draws in the end zone.
James, how did the rain delay affect you guys? What was the mood in the locker room? Certainly a lot of optimism in the stadium that a comeback was at hand. What was happening during that delay?
I mean, that's just adversity. We're always going to be battling adversity, and whatever we do, we got to be prepared for anything. So I wouldn't say like it was bad. It was a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it was nice being in our home stadium, so we had, a weight room and accustomed to those things. But we just got to come out second half, finish the game.
Hey, James, Luke Tasker here. A lot of production from you on the ground tonight. What's different in these games that have gone very well for you, over 100 yards? What's helping you to get there for some of these games compared to some of the games where you've struggled to get that production?
Yeah, just the guys up front. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I have a good game, it's always the guys up front, the receivers blocking. So just executing by those guys. So in those games where I struggle, you know what I'm saying? That's I got to do a better job.
Hey, James, it's RJ. It's 4 straight games now held under 20 points. I know you said you have to take advantage when you get chances to put up points. What do you think this team has to do to start getting more points in games? Because we all know held under 20 points, it's going to be tough to win.
Yes, sir. We just gotta finish drives. We gotta keep the defense off the field, sustain drives, and when we get in the end zone, we gotta score touchdowns, not field goals. So it's just a matter of us being better when we get down there into the red zone.
Hey, James, what has the impact been since the coaching change with Scott Milanovic in as the offensive coordinator now?
Just excitement, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, there's always change with anything, but we're excited. We're going to keep moving forward. You know, this first time, you know what I'm saying, we all just learned a bunch of new stuff this week, so hopefully, another week under our belt, we'll be even more comfortable.
Well, James, thank you for joining us. I know tough situation tonight, certainly probably not in the mood. But nonetheless, though, great game tonight. Thank you for joining us, and enjoy your couple of days off, and then it's right back to work for a big game out against your old club. So thank you for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was James Butler, and this exclusive post-game interview was presented by Access Storage. Score a touchdown with affordable storage. Access Storage has flexible storage solutions at a store near you. Try 4 weeks free. Details at accessstorage.ca. Guys, I was throwing this out to Andy, and please tell me what you think. RJ, you start with this. I thought with Chris Jones, there were the third down gambles. There was the little play action pass on the second down play. Even Trey Ford standing in the pocket, absorbing the hit before he hit down the middle of the field for the touchdown pass to Dunbar Jr. I thought I saw a element of desperation that I'm not quite sure I saw from the Ticats tonight.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. You could call it desperation. You could call it they had nothing to lose. So why not go for it? They're 0-9. Very unlikely that they're going to make the playoffs, so they took some risks, and they were successful with some of them.
Exclusive access to the coaching room, as we luckily do. Time to check in with Coach Orlando Steinauer, is presented by Access Storage. Score a touchdown with affordable storage. Access Storage has flexible storage solutions at a store near you. Try 4 weeks free. Details at accessstorage.ca. Coach O, lots of time, and I think, to settle in on this one, and the extended break with the weather and all. Can you just tell me how you're feeling about, I guess, the football team at this point right now?
About the team or the game?
Well, I guess both, really.
Yeah, well, the game's obviously beyond frustrating. It wasn't. There's really no words. The bottom line is, we lost a football game, and we didn't play well enough in three phases consistently to keep it close. And I do mean three phases. Too much giving up on defense in the first half. Great response in the second half. Not good enough in the kicking game. We get a return. I don't even know that we took a penalty in the first half. We take two on that play. I thought that was a shift in momentum for us there. The rain delay had no effect. It's the same for both teams. You won't ever hear me talk about that. It's frustrating.
Coach, you're halfway through the season now, and the record is what it is. I know you look at one game at a time, but do you set a goal for the second half in the record for the next 9 games?
Yeah, we break the season into right, so we're 1-2 in this third, and that's what it is. The goal is to be 2-2, and if we want a chance to do that. So, yeah, I do understand the cutting the season in halves, but we do it into thirds.
Hey, Coach, it's RJ. You talked about the kicking game, and not to make excuses, but just curious, with Bailey Flint's usually the holder. Was that a factor at all with Corey Vedvik being the holder for Mark Leggio?
Yeah, I'm sure it didn't help, but, the ball was on the tee, and, we hooked a couple, and, it's a tough position. It was tough weather there, but at the end of the day, we teed a bunch up in practice, and we were comfortable. Legs was comfortable with who was doing the holding there. It was either going to be that or Stavros. So it was not a fun time on a night like this when you needed those.
Coach, new play caller for your offense. Can you maybe point out a few things you're encouraged by as the Ticats offense continues to form and take shape?
Well, I don't think we threw an interception tonight. He took care of the ball. Now, as a result of that, we took we took a couple extra sacks there. And so, that's never going to resonate well. But, I think, we were encouraged. We were backed up. We had the touchdown early. I thought that gave us a lift. I thought we converted third downs for the most part there, to keep some drives alive. So, I'm encouraged. It's obviously you for those listening are going to say how when you have 10, because there's a lot of other things that we did improve on, and where we didn't improve is in the win column.
Coach, was there anything from the Elks that you saw tonight that was maybe a little surprising?
Not really. I thought they gave us a lot more zone defensively. I did give us a bunch of two-man there. But other than that, they moved the ball. They were able to capitalize. We went cover 0, and they threw the ball up. They got us on a couple of double moves. But other than that, I know that the rushing yards were up there, but you're going to get yards in a Canadian League football game. They just made more plays than we did.
Well, an extended time between games here with a big travel out to BC, I guess that would probably mean a little extra time and focus for the guys, even if they come in on their own to work on their own individual skills. So I'm sure you'll have a busy week of practice for these guys.
To say the least. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Oh.
Well, there you go. I mean, really, at this point now, guys, Luke, it's you got to look at the tape, as you always do, win or lose, and now it's time to move on.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Almost one of the maybe more, it's good and it's bad, is that you don't look at this game and think, they horrible, everything bad, that you can fix anything you want. Like, we saw some offensive production, and still, to the worst team in the league, you lose by 2 scores. It's really hard. It's really hard to feel encouraged, but you got to boil each thing down to the details. Defense. Why are teams having so much success against the run, on the run against the Ticat defense? Continue to Dylan Wynn get back in the lineup and continue to hopefully his impact grows as his health comes back. It's true what Coach O says there. They didn't throw an interception, and that's been a problem. There's been times throughout the season. There's been multiple interception games. Very hard to overcome that. Now you have a 7-sack game. Can you make some changes, solidify that in this long week you're going into? Continue. You're going to have every week, every day is going to help Taylor Powell and Scott Milanovic work together, grow towards having a better, a more productive relationship that can hopefully manifest itself in points. I think you saw them get into the score zone, and at one point you saw them first down. You took a shot into the end zone, second down shot into the end zone, and that culminated in a missed field goal. But they're experimenting. They're going to be aggressive. They're trying to get that in, and I think that with some time together, we're going to start seeing a more productive score zone offense.
Yeah, I think that was a heavy learning game for Taylor Powell. I saw a lot of seeing what's in front of him and not seeing downfield tonight, and the sacks are a result of that. And I think he's a guy that, with that stat line of 20 for 26, 217 yards, doesn't look too bad. But he's going to be pretty disappointed, I think, with his performance, because I'm sure they left a lot out there tonight. And there was a couple drops. You mentioned those 2 shots in the end zone. Tim White's going to want that one back. That was his only target he didn't catch. And he, it seemed like he misjudged it a little bit.
Yeah, like it got caught up in the sky, caught up in the lights or something, right?
Yeah, like Ed Gainey was in good position, and maybe he was trying to force him out of position, and that's why. But he certainly, it looked like an overthrow, but it wasn't by any means.
Nothing over 30 yards again from Taylor Powell.
Yeah.
And defenses are they're aware of that. So he hasn't been able to do the deep ball. 26 yards was the long to Tim White.
Yeah, I thought for sure with Anthony Johnson back in, if nothing else, they're just going to take a go route to the X at some point in the game and throw a 45-yard, jump ball. at worst case scenario. But
he too struggled even just on the quick slants.
Yeah, he was dropping the ball a bit, and he's shaking off some rust for first game back of the season.
You know what? Let me jump in here because I talked to Simone this week, and he said, let's put things into perspective, and it's still the same scenario. Tiger Cats are in a playoff spot. They're in a playoff spot. They're in third spot right now in the East Division. So, yeah, it's been a tough first half of the year. hey, you guys can laugh, but all you got to do is get into the playoffs.
Right.
But I appreciate, you know what, and RJ,
and this is a tough one because Edmonton comes in and they hadn't won a game and 13 straight losses and you're at home. Yes, so the wound is fresh. I get it. But there is time. It all is not lost. Let's not give up on the Tiger Cats. Ottawa and Montreal play on Saturday. At this point, I'd have to say go Montreal. Keep Ottawa behind the Tiger Cats. But even if Ottawa does win, that's one game. So Tiger Cats have to figure it out. And they've got a little bit of time before this BC game. So it's a tough loss. It's a tough one to take. But Tiger Cats are still in third place in the East.
The process is important, right? And you talk about those minor encouragements you mentioned, and Coach was talking about it. You see development, that's important. You're hoping you're not going to go 1 for 4 on field goals every game. You're not going to have 7 sacks every game. So those are things that if you correct, the outcome might be different. But you're seeing some different looks on offense. You're seeing different protection schemes, more fullback, more tight end, like more targets to guys like Tim White. James Butler's getting his carries. Those are positive things. So long season, if you got to make the playoffs, but you also got to be playing good football, and this could be looked at as a step in the right direction.
Well, it doesn't get any easier next week. Right, like Vernon Adams,
pretty good.
Vernon Adams is playing at a really high level, and they have a receiving core. I thought going into the season that even when I looked at some of the guys that were on their practice roster, that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers had the best receiving core. It may be BC, and that's some of that with Dominic Rhymes being injured. This secondary, this pass rush, they're going to be under stress, and they're on the road.
BC's a tough place to play. The one bright side is it's a 4 o'clock local time game, which is unheard of. I don't think I ever played a 4 o'clock game in BC. Yeah. So you want to call it jet lag. I know jet lag's mostly when you go east, but reverse jet lag, whatever you want. I don't know what it is.
Well,
but either way,
it
ends up resulting in a long day normally when you play a 7 o'clock local time, which is 10 p.m. here, when you're used to practicing in the mornings and being done. But it's a tough spot to play. It's going to be loud. Their attendance is up. They got that confidence. They have that culture, that winning culture right now. And so it's a challenge, but it's an opportunity as well. And I see no reason why, the Elks came in here and beat a team against everybody's thought. Everyone thought it was going to go the other way, but why can't it happen next week the opposite way?
Thank goodness Vernon Adams is back.
Well,
Imagine Dane. He probably wants to play this game. Stephen Dunbar came back and haunted the Tiger Cats tonight.
That's true.
He certainly did. And another guy to worry about, I was talking about the offense, is Betts, who's leading the league in sacks. And we're talking about pass protection being an issue tonight. So anyway, lots of time to discuss that. I know you guys got to have all your individual shows on of course, the Ticats Audio Network, and we'll be having a look and taking a little bit a step back and having a look at what we just experienced tonight, and looking forward to what will be a big game against the BC Lions, where, a tough place to play, but we've seen the Tiger Cats come up with some victories out of good old sweet Vancouver. 24-10, the final score here on the Ticats Audio Network. The Elks defeat the Hamilton Tiger Cats and gain that first win. Of course, we're talking about a 7 o'clock kickoff with RJ and Luke. It'll be Andy and I at 6 p.m. with pregame, and at 5 p.m. on game day with Courtney Stephen and Mike Daly. We certainly hope you join us. For all the wonderful people that put this in hands, that put this broadcast together, again, a special salute to so many of the fans out here that braved the weather and wanted to do nothing but hope for a victory for the Tiger Cats. We certainly salute you. I'm Bubba O'Neill saying thank you for joining us. Thanks for hanging out with us. Let's look forward to next game next Saturday. And we'll be live on the Ticats Audio Network.